The honourable member from Edmonton Meadowlark.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Families in Edmonton Meadowlark have long been asking for improved access to public transit throughout our city. I also know the Capital Region Board has identified funding of the Valley Line LRT as a priority. To the Minister of Transportation, can you provide the House with details of the government's commitment to Edmonton's Valley Line LRT?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation.
Well, thanks very much, Mr. Speaker, and thanks very much for the question. Transit funding is important. It helps improve the quality of life of people. It supports safe, affordable, and accessible and environmentally sustainable transportation options for people. And we're proud to support Edmonton's Valley LRT line, Mr. Speaker. We've committed $424 million in funding for the line. $275 million is under Green Trip, and $150 million in provincial matching funds for the federal New Building Canada Fund. Mr. Speaker, we're committed to assisting both our major cities with their LRT systems and transit throughout the province.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. For supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As residents in West Edmonton require access to amenities across our city, and with young families making decisions about settling into our community, can the Minister please provide timelines for when we might see shovels in the ground for the west leg of the Valley Line LRT?
Honourable Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. Our government has announced funding related to design and planning related to LRT expansion. We're working with the City of Edmonton to get a better sense of how much provincial support may be sought to complete the next phase and when this funding might be required. I understand the City of Edmonton is in the process of finalizing various aspects of their expansions and refining their project costs, Mr. Speaker. We are committed to supporting Edmonton, Calgary, and all municipalities with their transit needs, Mr. Speaker. This government is in favor of making sure that people have environmentally sustainable mobility to all of their needs, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that accessible public transit is critical to the growth and sustainability of our province, to the same minister, can you detail some of the other investments that you've made throughout the city to provide improved transportation options for our residents?
Honourable Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. We've committed $216 million in 2016-17 for other transit projects, $72 million for Green Trip, $144 million in federal contributions under PTIF, and that includes funding the Metro line from Neat to Blatchford, funding for preliminary design of an extension to the Capital Line, safety improvements, and numerous renewal projects for buses and LRT stations. Mr. Speaker, unlike those on the other side who would like to cut budgets, capital budgets, by $4 billion, Mr. Speaker, we're committed to improving the lives of Albertans.
Honourable Minister.